Alright, a little bit of a disappointing start to the video. So we were going to go to Harbor Freight and get an engine hoist because I was hoping this weekend, it's Friday now, I was hoping Saturday or Sunday to be able to pull the engine in the 240 because it's basically stripped. I think you only got to like remove the drive shaft and a couple other things. But unfortunately they're out of both size hoists. So I will have to order one online. I'm not going to go to Sears and buy like some super expensive one because I'm not going to use it often. But we'll order one online, or I'll wait till next weekend when I think they're having a sale and it might be online or, you know, in the store even cheaper if they even have any. But a little bit of disappointing start, but we're gonna go head back and start working on the rest of the lines and other stuff in the car. And I picked up at least a couple things like snap ring pliers, another grinding or sanding disc, and some stuff for welding. Hopefully we can get some more of the exterior welding done on the car, and I can now take the clutch out because I have the snap ring tool. Alright, so as you could tell, I wasn't able to get that crane hoist, which makes me a little upset because I was hoping to pull the engine this weekend. But it's okay, there's still plenty of other exterior welding, stripping, all that type of shit to do. So we'll continue by removing some of the miscellaneous things, the emission stuff, some vacuum lines. I got to take the ground off of here. This is the power steering. We'll drain that. We'll start taking that apart. Follow back some of the electrical lines, some of the tubes like I just said. And hopefully we can get this all cleaned up. Then next episode we're going to wind up climbing underneath and taking out the drive shaft, the differential, anything under there that we have to disconnect so we can get the transmission ready to be pulled with the engine. I'm going to start by removing the 10mm bolt that holds the ground onto the body underneath the tray. Next we're going to remove the emissions piece over here, so this black box. So if you check over here, it looks like we have 3 10mm bolts, 1, 2, and then another one all the way back down here to do. Then it also goes to a hose clamp that connects to this pipe, which looks like it goes down into the exhaust. So disconnect that. And then there's also, looks like 2 vacuum lines that head over towards the engine block. So we'll remove and label those as well. I'm going to start by removing the hose clamp that goes down to the metal piping that leads off to the exhaust, it looks like. So what's funny is you can see on the brakes that this line's been replaced. So this is we just found this before, but this is a pretty bad one. Excuse me.
Yo, what the fuck
are you doing?
What you guys done?
Well, we just found this before in the tub on the side of the wheel well. It's a pretty diesel hole, so that's gonna have to wind up being all patched and replaced. But yeah, this line has been replaced before. So I was moving some stuff around and I found some of the old line still in there that we're gonna have to cut out. But we're gonna follow this line that I believe was for the charcoal canister. We're gonna follow this all the way back. It goes up on top of the hood, So the line that goes across is actually the fat bottom line, and it goes right down into, if you could see, it's hose clamped right down in there. So we'll just wind up taking the hose clamp off that and fishing the line back through over the engine block. I didn't formally introduce him before, but this is my brother-in-law Chase.
How's it
He's
going?
going to be taking apart the windshield wipers. Basically, you're going to have some Phillips screws on top by the windshield, and then you have, these might be 12mm bolts holding the 2 windshield wiper blades on, and this plastic, which is also held on by some Phillips screws. We'll remove that and the whole mechanism underneath.
Yeah.
Next, I'm going to remove the power steering. This might get a little messy because I know the fluid is still in there, but we removed this 10mm bolt before. There's 2 more on the back side down here to remove. Then I believe you're going to have, this goes down into your control system. So you're going to have to unhook the hose from here. And then if you follow this one back, there's a hose clamp right here you can disconnect. So we'll disconnect the reservoir for now. Next, in front of where the emissions box was, this looks like it's something for the distributor maybe, but it basically connects to the center on the distributor up into this plug, and then down to another electrical harness that runs over into the block. So we'll disconnect the electrical harness and leave it on top of the block, and then we'll disconnect this from the distributor and put that to the side. Next, we're going to remove the throttle cable. So basically it runs over the top of the engine over here and into the firewall. So I just want to remove it so it's hanging. So I believe you have to like pull the throttle back and loop it under and then pull the throttle cable out. It's almost like a bike cable, and then loosen that there. Right next to where the throttle cable goes through the firewall, coming off the brake line stuff, you're going to have this fat cable that goes all the way to the other side of the throttle body. And it's basically just connected by a hose clamp. So we're going to take the 10 millimeters off this to remove this off. I believe it's just a vacuum line. Alright, so that's going to be it. It's going to be a short video today. We got some of the power steering out, we got some of the distributor cables out, some of the stuff for the brake lines. We're understanding more of the car piece by piece as we pull everything apart. But that's going to be it. I do want to create another video now, that's why this one's going to be so short. But we're going to go underneath the car. Any of the wires that go from the electrical harness down to the transmission, we're going to disconnect, and we're going to try to clean up and try to get whatever gunk's down there clean, because we're going to have to drop the transmission with the engine when we pull the whole thing. So I want to try to get as much as we can clean, taken apart, and labeled down there before we do that. So see you guys next time. Stay tuned. If you want to stay up with the build, make sure you subscribe, and we'll be back. Thanks for watching.